Big thanks to DST for sending this out. You can check them out and links to buy in the description.
Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there collectors, it is Steven here, and I've got another DST video for you today. DST meaning Diamond Select Toys, but today we're not going to be taking a look at a toy or a figure. No, we're going to be taking a look at a resin bust, and we're going to be taking a look at a Legends in 3D bust. It's going to be Godzilla 1964. From that golden year when he just so happened to fight Mothra, King Ghidorah, and sort of fought Rodan and, buddied up with Rodan at the same time. But anyway, 1964. This is going to be the first resin bust that DST has made for Godzilla, and hopefully it won't be the last. And that will be a little bit of a hint about how this bust is. So let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. So the bust here is shipped in a relatively small box. I thought this was going to be significantly larger. The reference point for that was I did happen to get the Gypsy Danger bust that DST previously released, so I thought it would be about that size, but this is going to be smaller. That bust is currently in storage, so unfortunately I could not bring that out for this review, but nevertheless, this is a good size. I'm not saying that it's too small. It is a manageable size, which is great, and you will see that in the size comparison coming up. Here, I'm just giving you an idea of what you can expect when you go ahead to open this up so you can see the process of doing that. It is encased in styrofoam, so you can have fun with that. Though I know that styrofoam is going to be the best way to protect these sorts of products, not just from DST, but from other companies as well. I always seem to miss bits and pieces of styrofoam on the actual product itself. And if you notice any little bits and pieces of styrofoam on the bust during the review, like one shot in the mouth, it's just because I missed it. I didn't see it until we were sitting down to edit the video. Anyway, let's go ahead and carry on out the unboxing portion. Okie doke, now that we are here taking a look at the actual bust, I do have to say that there are two things that I think DST could have improved on, but otherwise this is a home run. There's one subjective thing that I just want to put an idea out there into the universe. Hopefully someone from DST will watch this and sort of get that idea for a future release. Maybe a convention exclusive? Maybe, yeah. So talking about the sort of issue that I'm going to have with this, let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. First, the dorsal plates, they use sort of an olivish color for the paint, and that necessarily in and of itself isn't going to be the issue. It's also actually used on the eyebrow and on the chest. The chest, not a problem there. For the dorsal plates and the eyebrows, I feel like the dry brushing may be a little heavy-handed. I think maybe a different technique to apply it would have produced a better result, but it's not a super duper issue that would prevent you from purchasing this product. I don't necessarily think that's going to be it. I do know though that some folks who are in this area don't necessarily like seams, and where the mouth, it looks like that was a separate piece. It looks like there is a seam where that may have been connected. So I do know that that is something that a lot of folks like to know about ahead of time. So it's not necessarily an issue per se, but just something to know of heading in. I don't find it to be an issue, but hey, I'm letting you know what you're getting into. Now, for everything else, smooth sailing. I do think that the texturing for Godzilla is great. I think that it really captures the overall look of the suit very, very well. The keloid scarring that Godzilla is supposed to have, representative of those who were affected by the atomic bombs. You know the story of that. So the scaling on Godzilla looks just fine. The expression on Godzilla has that very dopey look that the 1964 suit is supposed to have. And what's interesting is if you look at this head on, Godzilla isn't looking head on. He has his head sort of turned to the side just ever so slightly, which really does, I feel, capture the feel of the suit. I said feel twice in a row, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Yes. Anyway, The eye application looks very good. It's very difficult to see even in person, but there is some brown utilized there, so very, very good. The eyes are overall well defined. They're not difficult to see up on the shelf, so the whites of the eyes are very, very bright. The teeth, the mouth overall for Godzilla is just fine. I really, really do like the colors that they used for the teeth. And what's actually pretty cool is each tooth is rather unique. The shading is a little bit different, so kind of like an actual mouth, not all the teeth are going to be the same. It's not sloppy, it's just a very unique touch for Godzilla, I feel. Now, one of the cool things about this release is that Godzilla's actual, well, I guess Godzilla portion is going to be atop a water spout, and that is going to be cast in clear resin, and that effect is actually executed very, very well. We do actually have a nice water splash effect on the underside of Godzilla, and where the Godzilla portion stops, we actually have a nice smooth cast of resin, which doesn't reflect any sort of resin bubbles or anything from the casting process, which you may sometimes get for this isn't a reflection of the actual product, but more affordable, quote-unquote, cheap resin products. We don't have that here. In reference to that, you can check out my Kyoto G2 Gamma resin where that is present. We're not going to have that here. Now for the actual water spout base itself, again, clear resin, water, it looks very good, nice splash effects, good job DST here. And something that I really do appreciate is that it's not just going to be a flat base, they actually put little felt protectors on the bottom, so this way wherever you're going to be putting this, that resin isn't going to, one, get scratched, or two, scratch whatever surface that it's on. Glass shelf, wooden shelf, whatever the case may be, both protection for the product and what it's going to be on. So this is normally where I would talk about articulation or accessories, but we don't really have that here except for, as I showed you earlier, that identification card during the unboxing, and this is number 10 of 1000. Pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and move on to a size comparison where you can see this is a pretty nice size bust. Very, very neat. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Generally speaking, this is not my area of expertise or my area of, yay, I'm paying attention to every single release, but this is a very, very neat product and one that I feel was done pretty well. From promotional pictures, I wasn't quite sure how well this was going to go, and I wasn't really following along with any of the promotional shots aside from what was solicited or anything that we saw at conventions or so forth. But having it in hand, I can say that if you're interested in picking this up, this is definitely going to be a good choice for you. I'm going to see what I can do to actually get this on display because this is actually really cool. And 1964 is not one of my favorite suits from the Showa era or any era at all. No, honestly, it's not. It's not my favorite. No, it's not anywhere near my top. I don't like it that much, but this bust is very, very nice. Now, something that I think would have made this nearly perfect, because I really don't think there's any such thing as a perfect figure or statue. This is the 1964 Godzilla. If they would have been able to put one Mothra larva or Mothra larvae, please feel free to correct me in pronunciation in the comments, on the base, sort of slithering or crawling up towards Godzilla, that would have been really, really awesome. So, home run, hope we do happen to see more. I can specifically think of reusing that base, lava, for a 1984 bust. You don't have to pay me for that. Go ahead and take it and run with it, DST. It's on the house. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.